Awesome. Well, I guess welcome everybody to the Regen Network community update on the 28th of September, coming live from Cosmoverse, actually, down in Colombia. So, having a great time, lots of builders, lots of networking. So, we'll talk about that a little bit. And I guess we'll go ahead and get started. So again, on today's agenda, we'll do so. The R&D and Foundation had a retreat last week in Massachusetts at Racebro Lodge, and there was plenty of workshops, and we had some speakers. So I want to kind of recap that for you guys. We'll talk about the marketplace allow list currencies that are now available. Timelines are updated some, so I'm going to be talking about that. Refiverse Recap, that was yesterday. Again, tons of speakers, really good vibe. The room was actually packed. So they actually had to bring in extra chairs. So lots of excitement around refi. There's a couple of updates on Regen Ledger 5.0. So our next upgrade that the engineering team shared with me, just a few things. I'll go over the relayer operations again, like I did last time. So we're still looking for relayers, and then we'll do the liquidity report like we normally do. So yeah, so again, we were in Racebrook Lodge outside of Sheffield in Massachusetts last week. We were there all week, and it was just jam-packed with talks like all day long. So there were again, speakers and workshops, engineering workshops, community management workshops, so ecosystem stuff, the registry and foundation strategy workshops, which talked about governance, targeted Regen Foundation support role, community equity, that kind of a thing. Matt was kind enough to come out too, all the way from Oregon, and talk about active inference. That was really interesting. I recommend checking that out. I actually picked up a book on that, so I can't wait to dig into it once I get back home at some point this century. Open Earth Foundation was there with Martine. That was amazing, really, really amazing stuff. So he was talking about establishing the marine ecosystem credits into Regen, and the first Costa Rica pilot, nature-based currencies and CBDCs, leveraging the UN environment, economic accounting to knit natural capital with Regen and turn it into financial capital to empower developing countries. I mean, it was, yeah, that's a jam-packed sentence. And I got to tell you, the presentation just blew me away. And then shared strategy and fundraising opportunities. Cool. Yeah. So that was the retreat. I mean, that little slide doesn't really tell you everything that we did. It was just incredible. There was, yeah, I mean, there was all sorts of stuff. And I don't know if there's anything recorded, but I think Becca is doing another recap, and we'll try to share that Notion page with everybody. So marketplace currency allow list. So we did it. The community got together and got some currencies. So people will actually be able to start buying and selling on the marketplace once that launches. So now we have USDC.gravity, so via Gravity Bridge, USDC.axlar via their satellite.money interface. euro is on there too. It's more focused towards European users, so get out there and check out those interfaces that they have. The bridges they're using are pretty slick. So that one is app.e-money.com. So really excited. The community pulled together. Thank you to everybody who put up proposals and voted. There was a mix-up on one of them, so we turned around really quickly and put up another proposal, and the community was there. So thanks everybody for participating in governance. It's really important. Okay, so the timelines, very similar to last time, except we've pushed. So the on-chain marketplace stuff, obviously this first part, the MVP UIs and project pages are completed with the city forest credits on chain. So that's already done. That's been done. And then the listing and then the marketplace launch. is extended to, I believe, mid-October. So I'd be looking for that in the next couple of weeks. And if there's anything changes, I'll make sure and update you guys. NCT on osmosis, obviously that kind of coincides with the marketplace launch and the two-cam bridge user interface. So that's pushed out a couple of weeks as well. So definitely happening very soon. Excited for it. Right. So just wanted to make sure I got everything there. So yeah, Refiverse. Wow. This was amazing. I mean, we had a ton of speakers. And again, I mean, the room was completely jam-packed with folks. Lots of networking, lots of talks. So we had Jan on DIDs. Austin from the foundation was there talking about community staking and the evolution of regenerative DAOs. Adam and Greg, how to become a refi hero. We heard about WinDAO, which I believe actually staking just began. So if you're, that was a regen airdrop. So if you did get that airdrop, you can now stake. Just as an aside, go ahead and check that out. Giancarlo from our team talked about Cosmos SDK and the groups module overview. And then Sam and Ryan did a lengthy talk on Regen Ledger, registry product overview, eco credit lifecycle stuff, data module for MRV. Really excited about that. Decentralized land registry. So there are a ton of things happening with the registry. And of course, just as an aside, I believe I saw somebody recording these talks. So I'm going to assume that they're going to be available for everybody on YouTube. So watch out for that. I'll share a link to those as soon as they're up on Discord and Telegram, on Twitter and all that. And I'll recap it again on the next community call. And then there was also a panel on Cosmos Zero, and of course a Regen Marketplace demo. So everybody's super excited. I was quite blown away by how popular our event was. So much so that I felt like we needed a bigger space and maybe even a whole refi just seminar or get together, like a big festival like we're having here, but just for refi. There's a lot of movement there. Quickly, here's some alpha on Regen Ledger 5.0. So it looks like the engineering team will be upgrading to Cosmos SDK version 4.6, which will include the group module, message-based proposals, and interchain accounts. So we want to make it easy for other chains to talk to us and perform actions on our chain, which is really cool. For those of you who don't know what interchain accounts is, I highly recommend checking it out. It's like the next level of IBC. So it's one of the really cool things that IBC enabled for the interchain. So relayer operations. Yeah, so I mentioned this last time, and I got some feedback from that. There's a couple folks that have already, I believe, already spun up some relayers, and then also others that were interested at the time. So I just wanted to reiterate that we're looking for more relayers to support our IBC connections, specifically to Osmosis, and then the 3 currencies that we're using in the marketplace to try to, stop any kind of downtime or anything like that. So Euro, Axlar, and Gravity. You can hit me up. I'm actually also going to be starting up a Discord channel. Maybe that's something you could do, Sari. Start up a relayer channel on Discord, and then we can start having chats there. And it's actually a good place to connect for any kind of troubleshooting, or if there's any kind of transactions stuck in the queue or whatever it may be. So it's a good place for us to talk. We'll try to get that up maybe even today. Other than that, as far as the relayer operations are concerned, the foundation is devising an incentive program for that. So anybody who is relaying will have some kind of incentive. I don't know if that's in the form of delegations or otherwise, but stay tuned on that. Of course, Twitter Spaces. So Twitter Spaces last week was live. Excuse me, it was live from the retreat in Massachusetts. So that was really cool. And then this week, well, it's going to have to be here from Colombia. So you'll get another glimpse of Cosmoverse, hopefully not from a hotel room. And as always, those are on YouTube for you guys to see. Here's our liquidity. Still plenty of money in there, so that looks promising. And yeah, so upcoming events. Obviously, right now we're in Colombia at Cosmoverse. The BCO WG Greenhouse Retreat comes in just a couple of days down here in Colombia as well. And then the Barichara Refi Summit is directly after that. And looks like maybe some folks are also going to be at GOAT at the Omega Institute in NYC. So you guys can catch us there. If you're here at Cosmoverse right now, come say hello. We've got a booth. And here's some past stuff. You've already seen all this. Of course, the R&D and Foundation team retreat. I was able to be part of that, so that was cool. And I think that's about it. Yeah. So how are we looking on time? Well, 10, 15 minutes. I blew through it. Hopefully I didn't lose you guys. All I see is a presentation. So and with that being said, I'm going to shut down the presentation. Give me like 10 seconds. I'm going to get booted off the call. So give me just a moment.
Recorded.
And I'm back. Cool. Yeah, so with that being said, any questions, anything you would like to add, Jan? I see that you've joined. Thank you for that. I'll leave it open for questions and comments now.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Hope you're enjoying Colombia. Thanks for the presentation. I had a quick question. So when the Eco Credit Marketplace goes live, and I guess that's looking at like end of October, if you could confirm that for me. But we will actually be able to use our wallets and start purchasing the credits. Is that correct? Is that what we're looking at for the timeline, end of October?
Yep, that's absolutely correct. So as soon as the marketplace user interface is live, you'll be able to do that. And if you're really tech savvy, you might even be able to use the CLI right now to see what's available. So you got to do some digging. You'll have to, use the help commands in the CLI. But since we already have the currencies, you are good to go. So you'll be able to already purchase. However, you won't be able to use an interface. So here in 2 weeks, go ahead.
Yeah, I might just go ahead and try that out. See if I can use some USDC.grav and look at what credits are available, see the prices, and go ahead and do a test run and get those credits into my wallet just to see how it works. I'd probably try that out. That sounds good.
Yeah, try it out. Let me know what you find. I should have been trying. I've been so busy, I haven't even had a chance. But yeah, let me know what you find. And of course, we've got our API at mainnet.regen.network. You can play around on there to see if if your messages are getting through and whatnot. So yeah. Oh, and Sari started up that Relayo channel. Just an aside. Thank you, Sari. Anybody else?
What's been your favorite non-Regen network talk at Cosmoverse?
Honestly, I like and not because he's here, but the DID stuff is really, really interesting. Like I know, but it is. It's just it's something that I've thought about for a few years now, and it's nice to see it actually coming to fruition and people like actively working on it. So I mean, that's it. All kind of honestly, it goes over my head just a little bit, so I need to learn a little bit more about what's happening. But I find it really interesting. But honestly, I mean, like there was lots of stuff that was really cool. But that's kind of the one that stuck out to me the most. The other talks I've already heard before, so.
And then you might have already covered this, but are recordings of the talks from Regen Network going to be posted somewhere?
Yeah. They'll be posted on YouTube. I'm not sure on a timeline, but they'll be available on our YouTube. And then once we have the, once they're up, we can just share that on Discord and Twitter and all that.
Will there be any posted from our retreat? Because there are some good ones there as well.
Was there video? There were videos from there too, weren't there?
I know that like at least the ones that Giancarlo was a part of were on Zoom and were recorded. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like Open Earth was, I think, recorded, and
good.
a few registry ones were recorded. I think.
I didn't even see a camera. Okay, yeah. No, awesome. So yeah, I mean, anything that we record, we put up on YouTube.
Okay, rad. Sweet.
Yeah. So stay tuned for the recordings on that. Again, I don't know the turnaround. I would assume maybe a couple of weeks.
Rad.
All right.
Hey guys,
well,
I just had a question.
Oh yeah, no, go for it, man, please.
I'm particularly interested in the DIDs and verifiable credentials as well, and was curious if Jan's talk might be available before GOAT, which would be like Monday, because I'd love to go into GOAT armed with some more knowledge on that.
On Monday, I don't know. I mean, you could probably even just connect with Jan. Maybe it's easier.
I can, if you post your email, I'll be happy to send you the slides of the presentation. Maybe that's a start.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll try to find out. I'll get a hold of Sarah B and see when those are, if they're going to be up there. So if they are, I'll post it on Discord. I'll just make it an announcement.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But yeah, I mean, Monday they might be. All right, great. Thank you everybody for showing up and asking questions. It's really, really helpful to hear people participate. I mean, and I usually just do a short slideshow, and it's really the conversation after that I always look forward to. So unless there's anything else, I'm going to go ahead and maybe give everybody a little bit of time back, 7 minutes, not too shabby. And we'll see you around, and I'll see you probably in the hallways somewhere, Jan. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Sam.
Bye, everyone.